Crossroad Blues is an episode about people who make deals with demons at Crossroads. It's our episode where we're playing with the myth of making a deal with the devil and selling your soul.
For a very long time, I've been into blues music, and I came across this story of Robert Johnson, came across his music at a really young age when I was still in high school, and was just, intrigued by it. And this idea of someone who's, sold his soul to become this great musician, and I'm certainly aware that, wasn't really Robert Johnson. It may have been someone else that this legend created, but it sort of doesn't matter. Like, it's kind of about the legends are more important than the actual men.
The more I read about Robert Johnson, the more I realized that it's really one of the coolest urban legends ever, because so much about it is factually true and correct. The only part of the story that we don't know for sure if it's true is the actual part where he talks to the devil. Everything else really happened.
Oftentimes we find there's a very close connection between the devil and the music, and so it only makes sense that the best musicians have some sort of pact with the devil.
The fact of the matter is, he was a sharecropper who was not a particularly good guitarist, who actually got a lot of scorn for being kind of a piss-poor guitarist. And he vanished for a couple years, and he came back better than anyone has ever been since. So you tell me what happened in those 2 years.
Whether or not this was a devil pact to make him become a great musician, or perhaps he had encountered an African deity, I don't think it's that simple. I think what we've got is multiple traditions feeding into this story, where you can interpret it as potentially a devil, or potentially an African spirit.
That's serious spell work. I mean, that's deep south hoodoo stuff. Used to summon a demon. Not just summon one. Crossroads are where pacts are made. These people are actually making deals with the damn thing.
In the South, you had this tradition where you come to the crossroads and you can meet one of the gods, the African gods of the crossroads, and be taught things. And this concept has gotten mixed up with devil pacts.
In Africa, which would be around Mali, one of the most powerful spirits is Elegua, who is, among other things, the guardian of the crossroads.
In the traditions, Elegua will actually, if a person comes to the crossroads at a certain time, will not ask them to sell their soul, but is willing to give them information, basically how to play the blues guitar.
Why a crossroads? A crossroads is a wonderful spot. It's sort of a threshold spot. You could go one way or you could go another way. It's betwixt and between. It's neither here nor there. And at the crossroads, then, you can make a pact with the devil.
So it's just like the Robert Johnson legend, right? I mean, selling your soul at the crossroads kind of deal?
Yeah, except that wasn't a legend. You know his music. You don't know Robert Johnson's songs. Sam, there's occult references all over his lyrics. I mean, Crossroad Blues, Me and the Devil Blues, Hellhound on my trail.
Once people have got this great story, everything starts feeding into it. The way the myth specifically attached to him was because Tommy Johnson was much more famous in the Delta than Robert Johnson, but not very well remembered today. And Tommy Johnson's brother, who was a preacher and who was very, very into all sorts of mystical, magical sorts of things, told this involved story about Tommy Johnson going down to the crossroads at midnight and meeting a black man there who tuned his guitar for him. And he said after that happened, he could play anything he wanted to play. And then a number of people who had already been into Robert Johnson and into the devil songs said, oh, that's how it works. Now most people think that is the Robert Johnson story.
I went to the crossroads.
People try to give answers to questions that are unanswerable. And certainly when we're talking about hoodoo beliefs in the Mississippi Delta in 1930, a lot of it we just don't know and will never know.
When you go back and forth with that concept is now mixed with the hoodoo concept of a guardian of the crossroads. So did he sell his soul, or was he given an opportunity by one of the African deities? I can't answer that. You may have to wait till the afterlife to find out.